guys, so now that you see the glasses and the title, I bet you're pretty excited because it's a Dr. Meghan video. And I have been getting a lot of requests to do this one in particular. This is still in my college advice series, and I'm actually really glad that you guys seem to be liking this. Even the people who aren't going into college, it's so sweet to see the comments. People are like, I'm 13 and I still watch this entire like 20-minute long video, which I think is totally awesome. I don't know, I just like that people are like, even though that you guys, this may not apply to you guys, still watch it, which makes me feel really happy and warm and fuzzy inside. So this particular one has been requested a lot. I think the most out of any other Dr. Meghan video I've ever done, and that is how to pack and what to bring to college. This, I had a huge what? I don't know. I had a hard time trying to figure out what to pack when I went to college. I have a lot of clothes, I have a lot of makeup, I have a lot of shoes, I have a lot of things in general. I just got a lot of shit. I got a lot. Like, I just have a copious amount of things. Tea time. I want to get this video up now. I know it's only like the end of July, but I know actually a lot of people, even like my friends included, went to school in August. I didn't go till September, so this is kind of, I'm trying to like make sure that if you've already been shopping, you can check over like what I recommend to bring to see if there's any things you may have forgotten, or if you haven't started buying yet at all, this is kind of like a good base where to start. But let's get this out of the way. I'm not like a professional packer. I'm not even a real doctor, because people are now getting offended that they think I'm trying to pretend to be a doctor. I'm not trying to prescribe you medication. I'm 18 years old and I'm giving you advice, like calm your teeth. But anyways, this is just from my experience. Obviously, I don't know how every college does it. Every college is definitely different, so you need to check out your college and see the requirements they have, or all dorm rooms are going to be different. Don't take what I say like 100% like, well, Meghan's dorm room didn't look like that. Like, don't worry. Like, you need to go with your school, and if your school is different, then adjust my advice to how it applies to your school and your freshman year experience. So first off, let's start by showing you guys my dorm room. This is my dorm room. I had a double. A double means one roommate. You can have anywhere between a single to a triple, depending on what kind of dorm you stay in. So I only had one roommate, and this was our room that we shared together. Everything that you see in this room right now is everything that came in it. There's nothing added. This is right before I left for college. I mean, right after I came, right before I left, like to come home for the summer. So it's completely empty. That is everything you get when you get in your dorm room, at least at my school. And at all of the colleges I visited, because I definitely visited like quite a few colleges, these are like basically exactly the same. So let's talk about storage. Obviously, as you can see, this dorm room is pretty small, and dorm rooms in general have a reputation for being very small. This being said, I think the #1 place to store things in your dorm room is under the bed. I can't even tell you how much space you have under there that's just not being used. So under there, I would definitely recommend keeping your luggage. No matter if you live 15 minutes away or you live 10,000 hours away, you're gonna need luggage to go back and forth between home and school if you're living on campus. So keep your luggage under there, because you're not going to be using it every single day, and it's not something you really need easy access to. That being said, I think everything that should be under the bed is the stuff that you don't really use every single day. You want to have convenience. Your entire dorm room should be structured to be convenient. If you use something a lot, it should be somewhere where you can reach it very easily. If you don't use something that much, but you know you still need it, that should be stored under your bed. As you can see, my bed is pretty high above the ground. I even had to bring a stool so I could jump up onto my bed. I'm like 5'9", and it was still kind of hard for me to jump onto my bed. I definitely recommend getting a stool, but in addition, if your bed is kind of low to the ground, you're like, I don't need a stool, you might want to consider getting bed risers. And bed risers are these like little plastic or wooden things that you stick under each foot of the bed, and it raises your bed even higher. So if you want to put something underneath your bed that you know you're not going to use that much, but you still need it, and there's not enough room, you can use a bed riser because it kind of creates more space between there. I definitely recommend doing that. I didn't do it. I did have friends who did it, and it worked wonders on storing more things under your bed. So the #1 storage thing that saved my life was buying these 2 sets of drawers from the Container Store. You can get tons of similar ones at Target. I really like the Container Store ones because they were really cute. But there's tons of different kinds of ones that you can get. And by putting those under your bed, even right next to where like the chest of drawers is like built in under your bed, you can put even more stuff in there if you're a clothesaholic like me. In there you can keep sweatpants, you can keep bras and underwear and socks and workout clothes and sleeping t-shirts, pajamas, anything like that. Just, it creates a lot more space in your other drawers, so not everything's completely crushed in there, and it definitely makes the room a little cuter too, because if you get something that's cute as well. So I would also recommend getting just some cute boxes from Target, and you can fill those and stack those if they have lids with other stuff that you may need. Again, I put in there sweatpants and sweatshirts and stuff like that, so if it was cold and I was running outside, I could just grab one really quickly. And because those take up so much space, and you're only really gonna bring like what, 5 or 6 sweatshirts. I mean, that's what I brought, and I have a lot of sweatshirts, but you don't really need that many. But if you cramp them all together, it's a lot easier, because if you're looking for a tank top, you don't want to get sweatshirts in the way. If you separate it based on like what you're looking for, it's going to be so much easier, and it's going to be way, way, way more convenient. So continuing on with clothing storage, onto the closet. The closet was pretty small for me at least, but it did come with a shelf above the closet, which was really nice. How I would recommend storing your clothes in the closet is they have tons of those like hanging, like things to put your pants or your shoes in. I personally would not recommend doing it. It takes up a lot of space in your closet. But if you don't have as many clothes, or if you live super close to home and you can kind of just like transfer out your clothes really frequently, you could definitely get away with using that as your space. But I personally would go for the very thin kind of felty hangers that you can buy at basically any place now. And you can use those and hang them, and they literally, it takes up like a quarter of the space as the plastic hangers do, or like the plush kind of satiny ones do, and clothes don't fall off them. So you can move them around really fast if you're running late to class and trying to like pick out an outfit, and it's not even like, nothing's falling, nothing's sliding, and they're really, really, really great. As for shoe storage, my roommate Delaney actually had a hanging over the closet kind of shoe hanger thing, but I couldn't really do that because it would have been reflective in the background of my videos. But I think that's a really, really, really smart thing to do. I thought it was really cool. I wished I could have done that, but in my video it would have looked really, really weird in the background of my videos. But that is something I would definitely recommend doing. But if you're also concerned you don't really want like all of your shoes like hanging out for the public to see, I got these little boxes, and I basically, in 2 boxes, they're very small, I put all my sandals in one, like just sticking like vertical, and then I put all my flats in the other, and then I had all of my boots like just sitting in the bottom of my closet, like all organized like that. And then I had 2 big crates full of heels. I have a lot of shoes, don't judge me. I had 2 big crates full of heels, and I put those over on top of my little closet area in the little shelf. In addition to stuff I put there, I put extra plates, I put extra dishes, I put extra silverware, and I put my first aid and earthquake emergency kit. 2 things which may totally sound ridiculous to you, but they are really important. We had a lot of fire drills, and I would even still I could still even bring it with me to a fire drill if like we thought it was a real fire, because there was food and snacks in there, and like extra medication for Delaney and I so we don't like drop dead, and like all that stuff that would have been it's very nice to have just in case there is an emergency. So my number one packing tip for college is to pack seasonally. That means when it's summer and you're coming back from, starting the beginning or starting in fall, you're excited and all that stuff, don't bring Uggs, don't bring down jackets. If it doesn't get cold where you are at that time, don't bring that. You need to start bringing things that are gonna work for the season. So at least on average, people go home for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and spring break. Those are like the 3 things that you're gonna be transferring home for most of the time. It depends on how close you are to your house. So if you pack for the entire fall, and you pack for the entire fall semester or whatever, you have all of your things there, and then you go for Thanksgiving. You can bring back to home all of your summer and fall stuff that you brought initially, and take all your fall and winter stuff. You come back after Christmas, you can put back your fall stuff, take some winter stuff, and a little bit of spring stuff. You come from spring break, you drop off all of your winter stuff and have the rest of your spring and summer stuff. So it's so much easier, and you're not taking up, and like it's not like June and you're looking in your closet and oh, there's a puffy jacket, and it's not like September and you're like, oh cool, here's a mini skirt. It's definitely something that you want to be able to make sure you use everything that you're using, and you don't want to have any wasted space. So there's 2 ways you're going to get to school. Either you're going to drive or you're going to fly. If you drive, I'd recommend doing what I did, which is I packed all of my clothes in suitcases, and then the stuff I couldn't fit in, like the extra stuff, I'd put in tote bags, and the stuff after that I put in shopping bags. So they were things that were very small and easy to transport back home, so when my parents dropped me off and drove back home, they could take all the tote bags and they could take all the shopping bags, and then I could keep the luggage. So, or you could use boxes. Personally, I was not very inclined to use boxes just because I wanted to be a little more organized than that, and boxes, they don't really mesh well in cars. Like you need to there's a whole it's like Tetris. That's like way too much effort. So having like squishy soft bags in cars is a lot easier. But if you're flying, most likely, some people do use suitcases, you're going to be using shipping giant boxes. That I would really try and advise not to do. All of my friends who did that ended up spending so much money and actually had to leave a lot of their stuff at home, like stuff that they really wanted to wear and stuff that they really needed. They had to leave at home because it costs so much money to ship. So if you can do as much as you can in suitcases, I would definitely recommend that, because checking a bag on a plane is a lot cheaper than trying to ship like a 50-pound giant box. But if you're gonna pack in a box too, like obviously you need your things, but I definitely would try and recommend suitcases because all of my friends who had to ship in boxes were so pissed off because it cost so much money. So as you can see, I have a mini fridge and a microwave. And yes, those did come with my dorm room. You need 100%, 100% check. Because if not, I definitely recommend getting them. I can't even tell you how much they saved my life. If I was allergic to something they were serving in the dining hall, or I slept through lunch, or if I had a class or a midterm that went past dinner time and I didn't bring a car to campus. I didn't have a car to go out. So if no one else wanted to go out with me, I had a lot of frozen food in my dorm room. I had all these like little noodle soup bowls, and I had like tons of things that I could just snack on. And if you have a microwave and a mini fridge, you're way less inclined to gain weight in college because you're gonna be eating healthier food. You can put hummus and carrots in there as opposed to like being starving and running downstairs to buy a candy bar. Having healthy food options is really gonna make it a lot easier, and especially if you have like a morning class and you don't wanna go all the way down to the dining hall, you can get a bowl of cereal. So I definitely recommend a mini fridge and microwave. And if they don't have it in your dorm room, I would definitely recommend there are places where you can rent them, like near campus. You can ask your people at your school if they have any recommendations of places where you could rent a microwave and a mini fridge just for the entire school year. And even if you decide you want to buy one, try splitting the cost with your roommates. So, because you're both going to be using it, and then it's like half the price. Now on to bedding. Bedding was something I was so excited for because I love redecorating rooms. I think it's so cute. I love having like a cutesy room and stuff like that. One of my major tips that a lot of people didn't really think about when they were buying their bedding: you don't have to buy bedding that you're going to absolutely love for the next like 100,000 years of your life, because you're buying it in a twin extra long. So the only time you're ever gonna have a twin extra long bed, it is in college. I don't even know if they make them aside for college dorm rooms. So don't feel like you need to invest a ton of money in a comforter or something like that because you think it's gonna have to last you the next 4 years of college. Honestly, it's really only gonna need to last you 1 year. So I would definitely go for the cheaper option. That being said, your comforter can actually be a twin, a duvet cover or comforter, what you want to get, because they are made longer to go over the edge of your bed as opposed to sheets, which are hug the bed tightly. I actually had a twin comforter, and it fit completely fine, and it was really cute. So if you're like me and you really want it to be cute and you can't find anything cute in twin extra long, go for a twin, as long as it's a comforter, but you do need twin extra long sheets and not pillowcases, but sheets and stuff like that. That being said, there are so many cute twin extra long stuff this year, and I'm totally jealous. I'm literally so jealous. So definitely make sure to check the down bar to see any of these cute things that I thought were adorable that I have linked in the down bar. I would definitely recommend getting doubles of your sheets and your bath towels, just because yes, you obviously do laundry in college, but you're not gonna be doing laundry as frequently as you hope. And so if you're like, ew, my sheets are really dirty, like I should really I should probably change those. That sounded like a sex joke. I'm not making any sort of sex jokes. But if you like notice that your towels are getting kind of grungy, or you're like, I haven't washed these in like a little too long, definitely make sure to have 2 sets, because by the time that you're realizing you probably need to wash them, it's not a convenient time to wash them. So have something that you can use for the next couple weeks until you actually get around to doing your laundry. So you need a laundry bag. That is enough said, completely enough said. But I would definitely recommend getting a laundry basket that kind of has a frame, but then it has like a bag that is attached to it that you can pull out, because carrying the entire frame is a little it's a little bulky to bring down to wherever you're gonna be doing your laundry. So taking in the bag is a little more compact. So this is one thing my roommate actually brought that I didn't even think of, but it was a really smart idea, though we never really ended up using it, just for the following reason, is bringing a landline as opposed to just having your cell phone, like having a phone that you can plug in. Because we didn't know if we'd had service in our, service cell reception in our dorm room, and I never even thought of it. Luckily, we both had completely full signals, but otherwise, like if we needed to call somebody or needed to get in contact with our parents, or if anything was an emergency, having a landline was really, like, it was just a nice comfort to know that we had one. And I would definitely recommend getting one, especially if your cell phone reception doesn't work in your dorm room. Then you're like, well, what am I gonna do? What if I need to call someone? Someone needs to call me. So having a landline is actually something that's pretty handy, but you can just check and ask around if they have good service in your dorm rooms.